Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at the new Super Sugo Fest into Yamato in some regular play, talking about her kit, seeing what she does well and what she does not so well. And I gotta say, I'm actually been blown away by this particular character. She seems incredibly strong. She's got offensive power, she's got utility power, she's got defensive power. Everything you could pretty much want in a unit, she basically has. However, she does seem quite restrictive here and there depending on where you want to use her and what you want to use her in. So in today's video, we're going to take you into Garp's Challenge, Heavenly Demon 2 and Revolutionary Army 2, purely because they have a lot of utility that you need to take down the quest. And I have to do them once again for Garp's Challenge anyway, so I thought, hey, this might be a pretty good place to showcase her there. So as a captain, Yamato is going to boost Cerebral and Int Free Spirit characters. I believe she boosts them by... I actually can't even see the actual infographic here because there's just so much to look at with Yamato that, it's just so hard to read. Her captain ability boosts Free Spirit Cerebral special charge by 2 turns at the start of the quest. Boosts their attack by up to 6.25 based on the number of status effects inflicted on the crew. Minimum of 5.75, 0.1 for every 2 status effects. And then boosts all other characters by 5 times. Makes Free Spirit and Cerebral characters Int and T and slots have magic slot effects. And makes Crew's Recovery into Wano, which boosts them by 2.5. She overheals by 2 times, as well as if you have 6 Free Spirit characters on the crew, she reduces 3 turns of Bind and Paralysis. And if you have 6 Cerebral characters, she reduces 3 turns of Special Reverse and Despair. So her captain ability does a lot. The downside to her captain ability that I do find is the part that says she gives a minimum 5.75 times attack boost, and then adds an additional 0.1 for every 2 status effects inflicted on the crew. So, bit of a weird one, and what that depends on in terms of status effects. Does that mean every buff you have on the crew, or does it mean despair, bind, paralysis, that kind of stuff, which is a bit odd because her captain ability actually removes that. I would say that it has to do with in terms of the buffs that you see on screen, because with her special and her EX, you get a lot of these different things. So as you can see right here, we have 6 different icons, so I imagine that adds 0.3, so at that point we're sitting at roughly a 6.05 times captain, maxing out at 6.25. I'll have to triple check that, or if you guys know in the comment section below, let me know down below. But as for that captain ability, the utility is amazing. She buffs everyone by 5 times, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to be using either a Free Spirit team, a Cerebral team, or a combination of the 2, or a mono Cerebral Free Spirit team that you guys see in this particular run against Revolutionary Army 2. Now, Revolutionary Army 2 has a lot of bind, it has a lot of despair, as you guys saw on the previous turn. There's paralysis scattered throughout, there's more despair at the end, there's some attack down here and there, so Yamato is basically getting around everything that you need to worry about besides the attack down when it comes to this content. The downside is you do need to bring a full Free Spirit Cerebral team. Now, that's really not that hard to do. The Free Spirit Cerebral classes and the coalition of the 2, there's so many good characters that fit into both of those classes, and a lot of them work exceptionally well under Yamato for her EX. Characters like Law, characters like Robin, characters like Nami, they're all scattered throughout in terms of Cerebral and Free Spirits. A lot of Shanks characters are Free Spirit Cerebral as well. So you can easily build these teams, because realistically, if you do build out the 6-man team with Free Spirit and Cerebral together, you don't really have to bring that much utility. You run double Yamato, and all of a sudden, you got 6 turns of every debuff that you pretty much need to bring for the team. You got Special Reverse, Despair, Bind, and Paralysis. All you really need at this point is Special Bind, like I said, some attack down, but you don't even really need to bring attack down, because with her special, she can remove 7 turns of any buff that you select. Any buff. You can only remove 1, but it's 7 turns of it. And if you guys have seen how valuable Shirahoshi Mancherry has been over the last couple of months, removing stuff like Pain or the Special Limiter and stuff like that, this particular ability is very, very strong. And now that she does this on top of all her utility, you can basically just bring her as double captain, get around 6 turns of everything, and then use that 7 turns to remove anything else that you really wouldn't need to do. She also boosts Crew's attack base by damage reduction effect. For example, if you have an 80% damage reduction, she boosts by 1.8 as well. So that's just built into her special. However, if you have 6 Free Spirit characters, she's going to do something different if you have 6 Cerebral characters. If you have 6 Free Spirit characters, she boosts Free Spirit characters attack by 3.25 for 1 turn and 1.75 slots, which can be overwritten by other slot effect boosts. If you have a damage reduction effect a healing effect at the same time that the special is launched, she's going to extend the damage reduction conversion to attack buff and the healing and the damage reduction by 2 turns. It also works with her special, which is very, very good. So if you have 6 Free Spirit characters, you're basically going to convert the damage reduction effect that she gets into 3 turns, and you're going to do some fun stuff there. But remember, you do have to have damage reduction and an auto heal to actually do that. If you have 6 Cerebral characters, however, she's going to be a color affinity booster by 3 times for 1 turn, and then further increase the attack and orb boost by 0.2, which also affects her special. So if you put together that Free Spirit Cerebral team that you guys just saw, you're basically getting all of this. Like, all of these buffs in one special is absolutely insane. A 3.5 times attack boost, a 2 times orb boost, a 3 times color affinity boost, a damage conversion buff, and then with her EX, she actually applies an 80% damage reduction buff, as well as a heal, which is very, very strong, because when you utilize her special with the 6 Free Spirit characters, you are going to carry this over. So you turn it into a 3-turn conversion damage reduction buff, as well as an 80% damage reduction. So this is very, very strong. She's a Super EX for Free Spirit and Cerebral classes, which works absolutely amazingly. I do believe she does need to be the captain. If I remember correctly, she does need to be the captain of the crew to actually get this effect. But at the end of the day, like, most of the time, you're going to be running her as captain. Like, it's how it's going to work. Now, what I'm thinking is that these debuffs, as you guys see on the crew, so see here, see how we're debuffed on the side with like normal attacks only, the special limiter, the gloom on the orbs. I believe that's what it means when it says the debuff. Those the based on the number of status effects inflicted. So obviously, when you remove them, you're probably going to lose your captain ability. But I think that's probably what it means when it comes to that part of her captain. So 9 times out of 10, I feel like most of the time, you're probably going to be putting together like either Free Spirit or Cerebral teams, depending on what the content throws at you. But like I said, if you can put together that Free Spirit Cerebral team that you guys saw in the previous video, previous clip, you're going to do some absolutely wild things. She's going to bring basically all the damage you need, all the utility you need, and even all the defensive effects that you need. She gives you the 80% damage reduction. She gives you a bunch of heal, which is very, very nice. Plus, she overheals as a captain as well, so you're very, very chunky. And as I mentioned, Free Spirit, Cerebral, they have a lot of crossover. And even if you are just building like a Free Spirit team, like you guys see in this particular video, you have a bunch of characters that are very, very good. You have characters like Aces, Luffy's, VV characters, Zoro, Sanji. The list goes on and on of how powerful the Free Spirit roster is, and a lot of the characters that she needs her EX are found on the Free Spirit roster. So you can do some really, really easy team building with her. You can build some really, really busted teams, and when you have a lot of utility thrown at you, you can basically say, screw it, I'm just going to bring Yamato, chuck on a Free Spirit Cerebral team, call it a day, and just use her to your heart's content. So as you guys saw in Revolutionary Army 2 with the double buff from Cerebral and Free Spirit, we got around all the Despair, we got around all the Paralysis, we got around all the Bind, and then we use her special to get around Attack Down. Over here on Dothy 2, we really only have to worry about Special Bind and Paralysis. Now, she can't really do all that much for Special Bind. You can bring characters to get around that, but she can definitely take care of the Paralysis. There's a bunch of Paralysis. You get like 1 turn of it. Scattered throughout this content, and just having her as a captain with 6 Free Spirit characters means that you are going to get around that. If you are bringing dual units, characters like Zoro Sanji, for example, you're going to have to be very careful with your switch abilities, because utilizing the switch of something like Zoro Sanji, turning Zoro into a driven slasher rather than Sanji's Free Spirit class, you are going to lose that utility effect. But remember, you're still going to get buffed by Yamato. She's still a 5 times captain to everyone, which is very, very nice. So you can do some really, really fun stuff there. Plus, with Zoro Sanji, for example, you can turn everyone into Free Spirits. So, for example, you need the utility on the final stage. You use Zoro Sanji to turn everyone into Free Spirits on turn 4, for example. Move into the final stage. All of a sudden, you have a full Free Spirit team. And with that, you can get around this Paralysis and Bind by 3 to 6 turns, depending on how many Yamato captains you actually have. Plus, Cerebrals have a great roster, Free Spirits have an even better roster, and you can hybrid her up with so many good utility characters. Other units like Enma Zoro for applying increased damage. You have Super Tandem Nami for paralysis removal. You can even run her with Verse Yamato for some more despair removal. So depending on what you guys need and what you guys want, you can definitely do some fun stuff with this character. But I think most of the time her value is going to come from running 2 of the same Yamatos. And nowadays, that doesn't happen all that often. Very rarely are we living in a world where you want to run 2 of the same character and you get the most effectiveness out of them, because you'll have like 10 turns of utility somewhere, or two utilities of 10 turns or whatnot, and then you bring another character that has a bunch of utility as well. But with this Yamato character, you can just bypass so many different effects and make it very, very easy to clear some endgame content. Now, obviously, Revolutionary Army 2, Dofi 2, they're not the hardest piece of content in the game anymore. We are no-stalling them like an absolute dream, but they're definitely not the hardest piece of content anymore. But they're up there in the echelons of the 13-star events, so showcasing how powerful these utility effects are, showcasing how much power you can get literally just with her special. Like, just with her special ability of getting an attack boost, an orb boost, and a conversion of damage reduction buff is going to be very, very nice. Plus, her Super EX has that ability that increases the class by not 1.2 times, but 1.5 times. And because she's a double super class, she's giving you a 1.5 times buff to Free Spirits and Cerebral. So if you can build out that Free Spirit Cerebral team, man, it's going to go to the fucking moon, because you can do so much damage without a super type, which is nuts. But let me know what you guys think of Yamato as a captain or as a unit as a whole down below in the comment section. While you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Something I didn't even get to touch on is that she's a rush character too, so she has that in her arsenal as well. But thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!